What if the GMC model year you've been avoiding is actually the one that'll save you thousands? I bought the year everyone said to skip, saved 12 grand. 5 years later, zero breakdowns. My neighbor bought the safe year. He just paid $4,000 for a transmission rebuild. Stick around for the last one. It's the most popular year right now, and it's a trap. Let's start with the 3 model years everyone avoids, but are actually some of the best GMC trucks you can buy. These trucks sit on used car lots longer than any other years. Dealers discount them heavily. Private sellers can't get rid of them. But if you know what you're looking for, these are absolute gold mines. And here's what nobody's telling you. The reasons people avoid these years? Most of them are myths, outdated information that keeps getting repeated by people who've never actually owned these trucks. Avoided year number 1, 2014 GMC Sierra 1500. This is the year everyone tells you to skip. Go on any GMC forum and you'll see people saying, avoid 2014 at all costs. The reason? 2014 was the first year of the new body style, the K2XX platform. It was a complete redesign from the previous generation. New frame, new suspension, new interior, new everything. And conventional wisdom says, never buy the first year of a redesign because all the bugs haven't been worked out yet. But here's what actually happened with the 2014 Sierra. GM had been testing this platform for years before release. They knew they couldn't afford another disaster after the issues they had with earlier models, so they over-engineered it. The 2014 Sierra 1500 came with either the 5.3-liter or 6.2-liter engine. Both of these engines had been in production for years by 2014. They were proven, reliable power plants. The 5.3 in 2014 still had active fuel management, but it was a more mature version than the early AFM systems from 2007 to 2010. The failure rate was significantly lower. GM had refined the lifter design and improved the oil delivery system to the AFM components. While AFM can still be problematic, the 2014 version is far more reliable than earlier iterations. The 6.2-liter didn't have AFM at all. It was a bulletproof engine that's known for going 300,000 miles or more with basic maintenance. The transmission in 2014 was the 6L80, which by that point had been in production since 2007. 7 years of refinement meant most of the early issues had been sorted out. The valve body had been redesigned, the torque converter was stronger, and the transmission control module software was mature. So what you're getting with the 2014 Sierra is a truck with a completely new body and chassis, but proven mechanical components. The interior is significantly nicer than the previous generation. Better materials, more comfortable seats, improved sound insulation. The ride quality is excellent thanks to the new suspension design. And because everyone avoids it, you can buy a 2014 Sierra 1500 with 100,000 miles for $3,000 to $5,000 less than an identical 2015 or 2016. I've seen clean 2014 Sierras with the 5.3-liter and under 120,000 miles selling for $18,000 to $22,000. The same truck in a 2016 model year? $25,000 to $28,000. You're saving $5,000 to $6,000 for a truck that's mechanically identical and often more reliable because the previous owner babied it trying to prove the haters wrong. What to look for in a 2014? Make sure the AFM system has been maintained properly if it has the 5.3-liter. Check for oil consumption issues. Ask the owner if they've had to add oil between changes. A well-maintained 5.3 should use less than a quart between oil changes. Look at the service records. Verify that oil changes were done every 5,000 to 7,500 miles with the correct oil. 5W30 full synthetic with the Dexos certification. Check the transmission fluid condition. It should be bright red and smell clean, not dark or burnt. A well-maintained 2014 Sierra will easily go 300,000 miles. I know owners with over 250,000 miles on their 2014s with nothing more than routine maintenance. But here's where it gets interesting. The next avoided year is even more controversial, and the savings are even bigger. Most people won't even test drive this one. That's a mistake. Avoided year number 2, 2019, GMC Sierra 1500 with the 8L90 transmission. This one's interesting because it's recent enough that people remember the problems, but those problems have been overblown. In 2019, GM introduced the new T1XX platform, another complete redesign. New frame, new body, new interior. and they paired it with the 8L90 8-speed transmission in trucks with the 5.3-liter and 6.2-liter engines. The 8L90 had been in production since 2015 in other GM vehicles like the Corvette and Camaro, so it wasn't brand new technology. But when it launched in the Sierra, there were reports of harsh shifting, shuddering between 30 and 40 miles per hour, and delayed engagement when shifting from park to drive or reverse. Forums exploded with complaints. YouTube was full of videos about 8L90 problems. Owners were furious, and that reputation stuck. But here's what actually happened. Most of the issues were software-related, not mechanical failures. The transmission control module software wasn't properly calibrated for the weight and aerodynamics of the Sierra. GM released multiple TCM updates between 2019 and 2021 that fixed the majority of the problems. The updates refined the shift points, improved the torque converter lockup strategy, and eliminated most of the shuddering. If you buy a 2019 Sierra today and it hasn't had the TCM updates, any GMC dealer can flash the latest software for free if your truck is still under the powertrain warranty, or for about $150 to $200 if you're out of warranty. Once updated, the 8L90 is actually an excellent transmission. It's smoother than the 6L80, more efficient with better gear ratios, and it holds up well under heavy use and towing. The 8-speed design allows your engine to stay in its optimal power band more often, which improves both performance and fuel economy. I've talked to owners with over 150,000 miles on their 2019 Sierras with the 8L90, and they report zero transmission issues after the software updates were applied. Some owners even report better fuel economy than the previous 6L80, 1 to 2 miles per gallon improvement on the highway. And because of the bad reputation from the early issues, 2019 Sierras are significantly cheaper than 2020 or 2021 models. You can find a 2019 Sierra with 50,000 to 70,000 miles for $28,000 to $32,000, depending on trim level and options. The same truck in a 2021 model year? $35,000 to $38,000. You're saving $5,000 to $7,000 for a truck that's mechanically superior once the software is updated. The 2019 also has some advantages over later years. It still has physical buttons and knobs for climate control and radio functions, which a lot of people prefer over the touchscreen heavy interface in 2020 and later models. What to look for when buying a 2019? Ask the seller if the TCM has been updated. You can also check the service records or call a GMC dealer with the VIN to see if the updates have been applied. Check the build date on the driver's door jamb. Trucks built after mid-2019 are more likely to have received updates at the factory. Test drive your potential truck and pay attention to how the transmission shifts. Accelerate gently from a stop and feel for smooth, progressive shifts. Drive at 30 to 40 miles per hour on a flat road and see if you feel any shuddering or vibration. If the transmission shifts smoothly and there's no shuddering, you're good to go. If it's harsh or shudders, factor in the cost of a software update, $150 to $200. That's it. The transmission itself is mechanically solid. Quick thing, if you're learning something new here, hit subscribe. It's free, and it helps the channel keep exposing the truth about which trucks are actually worth your money. Now this next one is going to surprise you. It's a heavy-duty truck that most people completely overlook. And the savings? We're talking $15,000 or more. Avoided year number 3, 2022. GMC Sierra 2500 HD with the 6.6-liter gas engine. This one surprises people because it's so recent and because it's a heavy-duty truck. The 2022 Sierra HD came with a choice of engines, the 6.6-liter Duramax diesel or the 6.6-liter gas V8. Most buyers want the Duramax because it's a diesel, and diesels are supposed to be better for towing and heavy-duty work. The Duramax has a cult following, but the gas 6.6-liter is massively underrated and often overlooked. It produces 401 horsepower and 464 pound-feet of torque. That's more horsepower than the Duramax, which makes 445 horsepower and almost as much torque. The Duramax makes 910 pound-feet. The gas engine tows up to 18,500 pounds when properly equipped, which is more than most people will ever need. And it costs $8,000 to $10,000 less than the Duramax option when buying new or used. But here's why people avoid it. Diesel guys think gas engines are inferior for heavy-duty work. They assume the gas engine will burn significantly more fuel, wear out faster under heavy loads, and have less pulling power on steep grades. None of that is true with the 6.6-liter gas. This engine is based on the same architecture as the Duramax. It's a 90-degree V8 with a deep skirt block designed specifically for heavy-duty use. It's not a modified car engine or a truck engine that was adapted from a lighter-duty application. It's purpose-built for heavy-duty trucks. The block is cast iron, the crank is forged steel, and the connecting rods are powdered metal, all designed to handle sustained heavy loads and high torque. Fuel economy is surprisingly good for a gas engine in a heavy-duty truck. I've seen owners report 12 to 14 miles per gallon while towing heavy trailers, which is only 2 to 3 miles per gallon worse than a Duramax under the same conditions. And when you're not towing, the gas engine actually gets better fuel economy than the Duramax in some cases, 15 to 17 miles per gallon on the highway unloaded. The Duramax gets about 18 to 20, so the gap is smaller than most people think. And maintenance costs are a fraction of what you'd pay for a diesel. No DEF fluid to buy and refill every few thousand miles. No diesel particulate filter that can clog and require expensive regeneration or replacement. No high-pressure CP4 fuel pump that can grenade and send metal shavings through your entire fuel system, costing $12,000 to fix. Oil changes are cheaper. The gas engine takes 8 quarts of oil compared to 10 quarts for the Duramax. Oil filters are cheaper. And if something does go wrong, parts and labor for a gas engine are significantly less expensive than diesel. Because nobody wants the gas engine in a heavy-duty truck, you can find 2022 Sierra 2500 HDs with the 6.6-liter gas for $35,000 to $42,000 with low miles, under $50,000. The same truck with a Duramax, $50,000 to $58,000. You're saving $15,000 or more for a truck that will do everything most people need and cost far less to maintain over its lifetime. What to look for when buying a 2022 HD with the gas engine? These trucks are nearly bulletproof. The 6.6-liter gas has been in production since 2020 and has an excellent reliability record so far. Just check the service records and make sure it's been maintained according to the schedule. Oil changes every 7,500 miles, transmission service at 45,000 miles if your truck has been used for towing. Check the frame and undercarriage for damage if the truck was used for work. Test drive it with a trailer if possible to make sure it pulls strong and the transmission shifts smoothly under load. All right, now let's flip the script. Everything I just showed you? Those are the trucks you should be buying. But now I'm going to show you the 3 popular model years that everyone buys, the ones with great reputations. Popular year number 1, 2015, GMC Sierra 1500. This is the year everyone recommends. It's the sweet spot, they say. It's got the refined K2XX platform. The bugs from 2014 are worked out, and it's not old enough to have high mileage. Sounds perfect, right? Wrong. 2015 is when GM started having serious issues with the 8L90 transmission in certain applications. I mentioned earlier that the 8L90 launched in 2015 in other GM vehicles. Well, the 2015 Sierra 1500 with the 6.2-liter engine got the 8L90, and it was plagued with problems. Harsh shifts, shuddering between 30 and 40 miles per hour, delayed engagement when shifting from park to drive, and in some cases, the transmission going into limp mode. GM issued multiple technical service bulletins trying to fix it with software updates, but many 2015 Sierras still have issues even after the updates. The problem with the 2015 8L90 was that it was the first year of production for that transmission in a full-size truck application. GM hadn't fully sorted out the calibration. The torque converter lockup strategy was too aggressive, causing shuddering. The shift points were poorly timed, causing harsh shifts, and the valve body had some early design issues that weren't corrected until later production years. I've seen 2015 Sierras with under 100,000 miles that needed complete transmission rebuilds. Cost? $3,000 to $5,000, depending on whether you go to a dealer or an independent shop. And here's the kicker. Because 2015 is so popular and has a reputation as a good year, sellers are asking premium prices. A 2015 Sierra with the 6.2-liter and 70,000 miles? $28,000 to $32,000. You're paying more for a truck that's more likely to need a transmission rebuild than a 2014 or 2019. What to watch for if you're looking at a 2015 Sierra. Avoid the 6.2-liter with the 8L90 unless you can verify the transmission has been rebuilt or replaced with an updated unit. Ask for service records showing any transmission work. Test drive the truck and pay close attention to how it shifts. If you feel any harshness, shuddering, or delayed engagement, walk away. The 5.3-liter with the 6L80 is a safer bet for 2015. But even then, check for AFM-related issues like oil consumption and lifter failure. The next popular year has a problem that's been costing owners thousands for over a decade. Popular year number 2, 2011 GMC Sierra 1500. This is a fan favorite in the used truck market. It's the last year of the GMT 900 platform before the redesign. It's got the classic body style that a lot of people prefer over the newer rounded designs. And it's old enough to be affordable, but not so old that it feels outdated. But 2011 has a major problem: active fuel management. By 2011, AFM had been in production for 4 years, but GM still hadn't solved the lifter failure issue. The AFM system uses special lifters that collapse to deactivate cylinders 4 and 7 when you're cruising at light throttle. The idea is to improve fuel economy by running your engine on 4 cylinders instead of 8 when you don't need full power. But over time, those lifters wear out. The oil pressure that controls the lifter collapse mechanism degrades, and the lifters start to stick or fail completely. When they fail, you get a ticking noise from your engine at idle, rough idle quality, and eventually a check engine light with misfire codes for cylinders 4 or 7. If you catch it early, you can replace just the failed lifters for about $1,500 to $2,000 in parts and labor. But if you ignore it and keep driving, the failed lifter can damage the camshaft lobe that rides on it. Once the cam is damaged, you need a complete engine teardown to replace the camshaft, all the lifters, and sometimes the cylinder head if the valve train has been damaged. That repair costs $5,000 to $8,000. I've seen 2011 Sierras with under 150,000 miles that needed AFM lifter replacement. And because it's such a common problem, a lot of owners just live with the ticking noise and sell the truck before it gets worse. So when you're buying a used 2011, you might be inheriting a ticking time bomb. What to look for when buying a 2011 Sierra? Listen carefully for a ticking noise from your engine at idle. It usually comes from the driver's side of the engine near cylinders 4 and 7. Check the oil consumption. AFM engines are notorious for burning oil. Ask the owner how often they have to add oil between changes. A healthy engine should use less than a quart between 7,500-mile oil changes. If it's using more than that, the AFM system is likely wearing out. Ask if the AFM system has been deleted or if the lifters have been replaced. Some owners proactively delete the AFM system with an aftermarket kit that costs about $500 to $800 installed. If the AFM has been deleted, your truck is actually a great buy because the main failure point has been eliminated. Now here's the one I promised you at the beginning, the most popular year right now, the one everyone's fighting over, the one dealers can't keep in stock. Popular year number 3, 2021, GMC Sierra 1500. This is the one that will shock you. 2021 is one of the most sought-after model years right now. It's got all the latest tech and safety features, and it's past the early issues of the 2019 redesign. Dealers can't keep them in stock. Private sellers get asking price or higher. But 2021 is a problem that most buyers don't know about: the 10L80 10-speed transmission. In 2021, GM started phasing in the 10L80 transmission in Sierra 1500s with the 3-liter Duramax diesel and some configurations with the 5.3-liter. The 10L80 is a great transmission in theory. Smooth, efficient, and strong. It's a joint development between GM and Ford, and it's used in a wide range of vehicles. But in 2021, it had teething issues in the Sierra application. Owners reported harsh downshifts when coming to a stop, hesitation when accelerating from a stop, and a clunking noise when shifting into reverse. The transmission would sometimes hunt between gears on slight inclines, unable to decide whether to upshift or downshift. GM issued technical service bulletins and software updates to address the issues, but some trucks still have problems even after the updates. And here's the bigger problem. The 10L80 is more complex than the 8L90 or 6L80. It has more gears, more clutch packs, more solenoids, and more electronics. When it fails, repairs are expensive. I've seen quotes for 10 L80 rebuilds ranging from $4,000 to $6,000, and because the transmission is so new, there aren't a lot of independent shops that know how to work on it or have the specialized tools and software required. You're stuck going to the dealer, where labor rates are higher. What to watch for if you're looking at a 2021 Sierra with the 10 L80? Test drive it thoroughly. Pay attention to how it shifts at low speeds and when coming to a stop. Accelerate gently from a stop and feel for smooth, progressive shifts through the gears. If you feel any harshness, hesitation, or hear clunking, walk away. The 3 model years everyone avoids, 2014, 2019, and 2022 HD with the gas engine, are actually some of the best values in the used GMC market. They're reliable, they're cheaper, and they'll last just as long as the popular years if you maintain them properly. You're saving $5,000 to $15,000, but the 3 popular years, 2015, 2011, and 2021, have hidden problems that can cost you thousands in repairs. They're overpriced because of demand, and you're more likely to need major repairs. If you're shopping for a used GMC Sierra, do your homework. Don't just buy what everyone else is buying. Look for the avoided years, verify they've been maintained, and save yourself thousands. Now you know which GMC model years to buy and which to avoid. If you want to know what sounds mean your truck is about to fail, check out my video on the 7 warning sounds that mean you need to stop driving immediately. And if you're worried about getting ripped off at the dealership, watch my video on GMC dealership scams. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.